Let's jump straight into this. We're gonna do some things a little different today, but welcome to the Reap2Sow FX video, Sunday structure at that. Let's start the week off on a good note. We're gonna break down a couple things that we're looking forward to do. Previous trades in the past we've learned from, or these past extra days that we've been off of work or other life things. It's just been back testing a lot with what we had to do, and I believe we have found how we can better attack the week, and that's quality over quantity. So it has to be preached within what we do here is reap to sow. We don't want to sow a bunch of seeds that are not good. We need to sow the quality seeds that are enough to sow from. So this is day by day. We will be on the session Tuesday through Thursday, finding out the best trades. You really are looking for 1 to 2 trades during the week, but we're not going to go over previous trades as we risked about $150 or a little bit more. Really, let's just say 100. Let's say our current price. We risked about $200 last week on just setups that felt like we had high demand for. And we're gonna avoid the trades that are ugly looking. So we'll explain that soon. As you already pretty much did most of the work for Sunday structure, but this is all just going over everything for ourselves. But we're gonna go over news first. That's most importantly. It's not gonna be a super long Sunday structure, but like I said, quality over quantity. And going into this, we have no real news for USD on Tuesday. Only 6 a.m. news. Even Monday, no news at all for Monday for USD. But Tuesday, we only have USD news at 6 a.m. Small business index. And then that's pretty much it besides the 3 p.m. consumer credit for news on Tuesday. Going into Wednesday, we have some news as well, of course, for USD. Just pick up the pace from Tuesday. So you have USD news only at 10 a.m. That's the only thing that's not in the way, but that we should be aware of. It's a yellow folder, so not too aware, not too panicky, not too observant, but still USD news, yellow folder at 10 a.m. And then everything else after FOMC meeting minutes, things of that sort. And then we also had Donald Trump sign a beautiful big bill. So just a lot going on in general in the world, and we just want to be on the same page to find out what is the best direction and trend that we have for the 2 pairs that we have finally came to a decision on only trading for times being. So that's pretty much Wednesday for news. USD crude oil inventories, final wholesale inventories, both USD at 10 a.m. And then we had the red folder at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Going into Thursday, still not that much news, but it still picks up in the sense of the early news. You really have no early news for Tuesday and Wednesday. Really, Thursday comes in with 8:30 a.m. USD unemployment claims. 9 a.m. FOMC member Musalem speaks at 9 a.m. And then 10:30 we have natural gas, and then we have everything else after FOMC Walker speaks. That's the orange folder at 1:15 p.m. So just a lot of news in general for USD on Thursday, and it's not that much other news dealing with other currencies or countries on Thursday. So we're past the first week of NFP, and that had included Labor Day. So we'll see how the week turns out. Not too much news, but so we'll see exactly what directions we get. We know we're bullish for both. At this moment, we're bullish for both. And let's go into the best part we have, which is marking up our charts, which you kind of already did already. But from a standpoint of how we always do our markups for overall trend, we see that price is above all the EMAs on the 1 hour and 4 hour. For gold, let's start with gold first. So one thing we want to find out is the trend is currently in, if it matches the higher time frame. So at this moment, because you have this low, then we have this high, going for current price. This is the low and this is the lower high, basically coming from up here. But if this breaks this, we're going bullish. So if this breaks this area, instead of going down after it made a new low right here, and we're on a 1 hour. So price made a new low previous to this high. So this is the most recent low that we have, but it came below the previous lows, even this previous low. So it's on a downtrend on the 1 hour, but potential to go up because of the overall trend off of this area. So we'll see if I want to see if it's going to break through this level to turn bullish, and then obviously above this level is a back box. We have bulls above here. We have bulls pushing up. We have buyers here. So we'll see what price does around this area, but we really want to get in right here to see the full blast up, and we have a bunch of room upstairs to that resistance. Hitting that roof area, that stoppage, and this is where we want to aim for first. So we want to see what price does today, going into tomorrow, and then we'll figure out what we want this to either come through here during NY session on Tuesday or Wednesday, or even Monday. If it happens, it happens. But we want it to come through there. But this is gonna be a first TP, obviously, if it breaks through this area to go up, and then this first TP, and then this is the second TP. We really aim for this because the overall trend. This is the most. After this level, this is the most. This is the highest previous structure. But if we're going to go downwards, where price is on a downtrend after making this new high, after going down here, making a high. Let's do this. So price is down here. Price is down here. We had a low. After that low, we made a high. This is why I marked it up like this, a little bit more cleaner. And then we came down here, higher low. Up here, and went straight up. No pullbacks, no nothing. And then right here, higher high. Then we came all the way down here to this wick area. We like to count the buy counts. I was going to do right here, but this is the real wick, so whatever. We'll count this. And probably if we put pivots on, high and low, or pivots, I mean as in the indicator that shows the highs and lows of every pair, everything. So it shows, that's what pivots mean. But if we have pivots or the high and low indicator, then we can figure out if this is high and low. But I want to figure out if we need help that bad, then we'll use it. But I've kind of figuring that this has more, this is lower because the wick. So it's what it is for now. So it's the higher low, then high, higher high. It's supposed to be a higher high. Higher high. Oh shoot. And that's a higher high right there. So we already are in an uptrend in this moment. So we're at the highest points that's coming from all the way out here. It stops. It's stagnant at this level. It comes down at this high and makes a low. And then comes back up here again and make a lower high. And then it will really equal highs, so it's consolidation in this area. You gotta be careful. So price comes all the way down here, rejects itself up, comes back down, lower low. Really just shot right down. If it's 15, this would probably be an area where it stopped. But this is the area that we did. It's a low, stopped, it went up, sold through. So all the way through 2 areas. And now we're down here. So this either creates a support for us, or what. So we'll see what happens. This is really bullish regardless. I mean, you really had a downtrend era for the past, I want to say maybe 3 weeks. But besides that, we've been definitely buying up. So it's in this area trying to figure out where it wants to go. We have a bunch of room up. We have a bunch of room, definitely a bunch of room down. But so we want to see where price goes at this moment. I won't be surprised if it chooses either or, because we're in the middle right now. But I am more bullish than anything, so we'll see what price does at this moment. But the most recent action was making a high. Before that, it was a low coming down the area that we haven't touched before after making these consistent highs. So if we go down to the 15 on a 5-minute, we could tell, especially when the market opens, the 15 is for only buy plays, and we'll only play that during a session 8 to 10, and we want to find a buy entry either coming up above a support or coming above a resistance or going down below a support. Basically, that's the type of trades you want to get in for buys. Not only for buys or sells. So like we had here, I'll show you an example. It's kind of choppy here. Well, you'll see, honestly. I mean, you really want to be on a 15. We really want to see on the 15, the hour. I mean, 15, a 5-minute for the correction or the stage where it pulls back. And the continuation starts on the 15 and 5. That's what you really want to see it on. So we'll wait till that happens. But let's see an example we could get real quick on the 15. So let's say price stopped here, pull back, boom. It's a low right here, boom. So price came up here, stopped, stay stagnant, bounced up this level a couple times. Buyers are sitting right here. Price came up here. Gets indication of a buy. Okay, cool. Price then came down where the blue line is. Came back to that level. It just broke through, making a high, and came back underneath it. Then tag this area where all the buyers are at before the session opened and came above that level. So I would have put my entry here, right where this candle popped up at. Put stop loss right here, and then aim for that previous high. So probably here or up here. As you can see to the right, we already went up there, so would have been something we just held and 1 to 5 real quick. Probably would have put stop loss a little bit lower. It was 9. Probably would have had 13. Just because the wicks. Or 1 to 3. So that's what I'm saying with. All right, the 1 hour has a trend. It has the indication. It shows that it's able to go to that level. I mean, we could still do it on 15, but 1 hour is the guide, and the 15 is really like the steerer in a sense. The guide is showing you the map or direction, and then you have everything else on the 15 and 5-minute that deals with the execution. There we go. Execution. So guide and execution. Guide, execution. So that makes a lot of sense. I want to see what price. I probably have different we'll see what happens. But that's really the gist of gold. We want to see it either make a move to upside or downside, but we really want it upside. So even with this making a low down here, let's see, I made a lower high. So this comes down here. Yeah, we just want to see this price come down. That's all. All right, price stopped at the support, and we'll see if it comes up here. We know we have buyers here, so we can buy off this area. Obviously, we wanted to see what price gonna do, but we'll see if it gives us something like that, or just the opposite where we sell. We try to get more liquidity down here. It's that area, because on the 4-hour, this area where it touched and just went back up again. And it's kind of reasonable, but at the same time, this is kind of like sideways action, 4-hour wise. But so we need some more momentum, either pushing up or down. And as you can see, we got a lot of room down. So we'll see exactly what price does going into Monday. Obviously starting off on Sunday, which is today. But yeah, I want to see what price is gonna do. But we do have to mark up our chart on the 1-hour and then execute. Oh, really? Mark up our chart on the 1-hour to guide us, and then we have our 15 to execute. So we'll leave price how it is on gold, exactly how it is right now. Not too much extra things need to be done. Less is more, quality over quantity. To preach that to ourselves. So going to Nas, I really backtested this the whole day. Yesterday, pretty much went kind of crazy. But anyway, going into what we currently have. So this is how we like to break down. So we come to the market on Nas or even any day. We can see what price is. All right, we have price here, and this is what we can do on a 15, especially when price is doing what it do overnight. So we have price right here. We have our high, and then we have our low. Oh shoot. Well, obviously this is a low. This is currently where it stopped at. But really, this is the low. That's the most recent low to get to where we at right now. So we have price make this low. Then we made a high. Price really came back to this area where buyers are at, where we bought through. I mean, honestly, price then bought up again. So if we go to the 15 and see exactly, I mean, it's really nothing in the sense of, we really couldn't really play this in a sense because there's no previous structure to the right because they're all-time highs. So we want to be very careful with gold. But this right here could have been an indication going up. And then this right here, the breakthrough is cool, but it's way before we get on. So probably just playing this shooting star right here, this green shooting star, probably the smartest thing to do. What is this? 31. That's cool. 31, 10, 15 pips, whatever. And probably stop loss on 1 or 2 at least. Everything else will probably work perfectly fine. So that's how we want to look at. But there was no previous structure. We'll just be going off of 1 or 2 if this was actually something that we played. So within this, what we're seeing right now, we have price make a high. Well, as high as high. And then come down to this area. And we'll see exactly how the price moves going into Tuesday, Sunday and Monday. But this might be the low. Might come up again and make lower lows. Or we might do something in the sense of, or we have to mark up the charts regardless. But same kind of deal with like gold. So I saw these lows right here. I saw this came from buying. It's a little switch up. It came from buying to selling to buying again. So over here, it's the area where multiple touches are at. A lot of reaction down here. So we had this low down here. Okay, cool. That low went all the way up here, made a high. We could really stretch this through too if we really wanted to. Boom. That's a little bit cleaner. Made this high, and then came back to the high. But It came back to the same high, making a higher high. This area down here is a higher low. Price then broke this area on 15. Showing an indication and then actually doing it. So you could have played this too as well. This indication. You got high, you got higher low, higher high. See, this higher low would have probably messed us up, but we probably wouldn't have taken this anyway. But going into Tuesday, let's say we would have sold through here. Let's say we're feeling really confident. We bought at 8 o'clock. So all right, we have price to the right. Oh, that's crazy. I was wondering why my thing looks sideways. Okay. Oh, sideways again. Okay. And then put price. I put stop loss right here. I probably would have tagged this area. Probably would have gotten a little late. Oh, that's stop. I probably would have got it right here. I probably would aim for this low right here. Buy as well. There's some things we need to do. Cause it's showing bearish. Showing bullish. It was showing bearish at first, and then bullish because it's higher high. But if you would have played it still, you probably still would. Obviously, you still would have won. So then we came down here, made a higher low. Oh, on the 15 looks different, but let's go over here. So I'm at higher low. Is it higher low? Am I bugging? I'm thinking about this. This is a lower high, right? Am I bugging? That's a lower low. So we made a high, made a higher. No, it's not higher low. It's a low. So we messed up a few of these. All right, cool. Then it goes to a higher high. Then it comes all the way down here. Making a high, and then it goes all the way down here, making a low. So this wasn't even, okay. And up here, this is 1 hour, yep. It's a higher, this is the high. This helps us think. So went from having sellers at this area to having a low. Then the low came all the way back up to make a high. This is consolidation. That's why it's like this. That's why I don't like playing this. It's now a little bit too much in a sense. Okay. Alright, so price made. Let's start from here. Let's start from here instead. I think we should just go back to what we originally had. I think we had it down pat. So let's say, alright, see the chart. Okay, cool. We have a high over here. This is the highest high. Then we come down here. A higher low. Alright, cool. What would this be at this point now? It's not a higher high. Because we just came from a higher high. So higher highs go to what? We just know that this area is consolidating. You know, price came from here, came down here. So it went from a high. Really, this is the low. Because it reset, because it broke this low. So it broke that previous. So this was the high that came down here. It's the higher low. Higher low. Yep. And then this turns into a higher high. The higher high then breaks this higher low, making this where all the buyers is at down here a low. Technically, because of the $15 and $5 look totally different for this pair. But we just want to break it down the most simplest way possible. Because obviously we have sellers here, then we have buyers here. So it's a higher high goes to a usually a higher high leads and goes to a higher low. This is a lower high, right? Or it's a low. This is just a low. Reset for the 1 hour. Alright, and now this right here, what would this be? Went from a higher high to a low to a high. Okay, that makes sense. Boom. Alright, cool. And then we come down here, making a low. A low, then we buy up to here. This is a new high coming to that other previous high. So now we're stagnant at this nice resistance level right here. Now this is the indication coming down here, and that's how we got that buy. Potentially, that's how it worked out. But this is what happened before in the past, where we had to find out what current price is when market opens, and then go find our highs and lows of that pair, and make sure the correction or the pullback area and the continuation is where we see where we need to get in at. With Nas, maybe about extra 15 point. Maybe extra 10 points of stop loss, and aim for that previous structure high on the 1 hour. So even here on 1 hour, it still shows, but I bet we got this on the 15. So breaking it down for ourselves, a little bit of repetition. So we had price make a low, it come up to this area, it broke that area, giving us a high. Okay, cool. No, it's a high. It came down, liquidated itself, pulled back down to this higher low, because this low is here. This is the higher low, higher than that previous low. This is where all the buyers, new buyers are sitting at. Even up here, this is where buyers are sitting at. Price then buys above this area into our session. Really 9:45 after we had this showing that we had previous structure to the left of us. That price then buys up off this wick and then goes bonkers. So we really want to put this, let's say, extra 10. Yeah, we probably would have stopped out of this anyway. But you see the vision in the sense of how we could capitalize, because this is a crazy wick. But was that Monday? Yeah, I'm good. And then we would have aimed for previous structure over here to the left, right here, or a little bit above, yeah, right here. And we would have hit it if we survived that wick. If then price then after that came up here, made another area of but really this really made the higher high. I mean, but this is cool though. This is the higher low right here. Boom. And then we bought up here. And we're really going, you know what? Let's get rid of that. We're really going off the 1 hour when we go with this. So we go to 1 hour real quick. Cool. All right, we see price stopped right here. See it stagnant a little bit. Okay, cool. Let's find out what goes on next. Wow. So, at a higher high, because it just came from a high over here. Price came down, made a higher low, went all the way up here, but all the way up here strongly. Came back down, made a higher low. Again, off of this area, off this nice support area, we bought again. I think on the 15, I don't know if we came below that level. Barely, but if we wanted to risk it on a Wednesday or Tuesday, taking that morning star off of this area, and aiming, going a little higher, that's what we could have capitalized off of. But going forward, going to our 1 hour, we're seeing that price is making new highs, correcting itself, and going to that same level to break and go crazy. So price right here got a higher low, then we got a higher high again. So what is this? A new high. So this is a new area where we might coming back to. Price then comes back above this area. Not in session though. This is the problem with this one. Not in session. Not in session at all. Let that do what it do. Makes a new high. Alright, cool. Slow down. Price then comes back up above this area after this new higher high. And then new higher high and new higher low. Buys up, breaks that level, comes back down, same session, buys up. So we're gonna be very aware, and we're gonna let the rest ride. But you see a pattern of when we're on trend, we do the same thing. And this right now doesn't look like it's in. Well, now it does, but it didn't look like it was in trend. But we'll see if we get a pullback. It's aim at this area again. But obviously we know how this is painting, how this is printing, how price is printing. That this is a new area where we have to get going into Tuesday and Wednesday. Price to come below this area and buy off this area, or come below this area and buy when it comes back above. So we want to see everything bullish in this area, basically. So we'll leave this alone. Play this successful session. I was going over a few things and how we want to approach next week, quality over quantity. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys tonight. I said tonight. This is Sunday structure. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Y'all have a good one. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys Tuesday. Thank you guys for tuning in for our Sunday structure. Hopefully you guys appreciate the news overview and our chart markup. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday for 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. pre-recorded session. Thank you. Peace.